It all started on a Thursday. A very strange Thursday. A bald man named Bob sprinted through Walmart. He wasn't just any bald man. His head was shiny, like a freshly polished bowling ball. In his arms, he clutched a magical PlayStation 5. It glowed with a weird blue light. It hummed like a happy bumblebee. Bob had to protect it. It was the last PS5 in the world that wasn't trying to sell him crypto. This console was special. It held the secrets to the universe, or at least the cheat codes. Chasing him were drones. Not normal drones. These were TikTok drones. They buzzed and whizzed past the cereal aisle. "It's giving fugitive," one drone chirped in a robotic voice. "Slay queen, I mean king, I mean bald man," another one shouted. They fired tiny, glittery lasers that bounced off the giant tubs of mayonnaise. Bob zigged. He zagged. He slid past a pyramid of toilet paper. The drones were relentless, filming everything for their non-existent followers. It was pure, unfiltered chaos. Bob needed a plan. He was running out of aisles. He saw a shopping cart. It was no ordinary shopping cart. It was a super shopping cart. It had racing stripes and a wobbly wheel, which is how you knew it was fast. He leapt into it with the grace of a startled flamingo. The PS5 sat safely in the little kid seat. He pushed off, rolling towards the automatic doors. The drones were hot on his tail, making annoying beeping sounds that sounded suspiciously like a popular sea shanty. The automatic doors slid open. Freedom, Bob and his supercart burst out into the car park. The drones followed, their little cameras blinking. "This chase is fire, no cap!" one buzzed. Bob ignored them. He pressed a big, red, mysterious button on the shopping cart's handle. He had no idea what it would do. Maybe it would dispense a coupon for discounted cheese. He hoped it was something good. He really hoped it wasn't the self-destruct button. That would be a major bummer. Poof! The shopping cart began to shake. It rattled and groaned. Then, it transformed. The metal basket folded away. Sleek red panels popped out. The wobbly wheels turned into shiny sports car tires. In a flash, the super shopping cart became a Tesla. A flying Tesla. Bob gripped the steering wheel, which used to be the handlebar. "Whoa!" he yelled. The Tesla silently lifted off the ground, leaving the confused TikTok drones hovering over an empty parking space. They just kept repeating, "Wait for it, wait for it." Meanwhile, in another dimension, things were even weirder. A raccoon named Reginald was driving a sports car, a bright yellow Lamborghini to be exact. He was wearing a tiny Gucci suit and a top hat. Reginald was a very fancy raccoon. He wasn't driving on a normal road. Oh no, he was speeding over a river of bubbling lava, in a world that looked exactly like Minecraft. Everything was made of blocks. The trees were blocks. The clouds were blocks. The lava was very hot-looking blocks. Back in Bob's world, the sky was changing. The sun, our friendly neighborhood star, began to wobble. It stretched and squashed like a giant, fiery piece of chewing gum. Then, it morphed. It grew a long, goofy neck and big, dopey eyes. The sun had turned into a giant Fortnite llama. It floated in the sky, silently judging everyone. It didn't do much, but its presence made everything feel 10 times more ridiculous. People on the ground just pointed up and shrugged. It was that kind of day. Bob's flying Tesla soared past the llama sun. The magical PS5 on the passenger seat began to vibrate. It whispered, "The simulation is glitching, my dude." Bob just nodded. He had seen a raccoon in a suit drive over lava and a llama replace the sun. A talking PlayStation 5 was the most normal thing that had happened all day. He flew higher and higher, heading for the weirdness that lay beyond the sky, wondering if he'd ever get to play his new game. Let's peek into a classroom. Not a normal classroom. This one smelled faintly of cheese dust and confusion. The teacher was not a person. The teacher was a giant Dorito. A Cool Ranch Dorito, to be specific. It stood at the front of the class, propped up against a whiteboard. It was live streaming to an audience of 0. "Okay, class," the Dorito's voice crackled from a tiny speaker. "Today's lesson is on the physics of a perfect snack. As you can see..." Nobody was listening. A kid named Kevin stared at his lunchbox. It was a normal-looking lunchbox except for the giant glowing AI eye on the front. The eye blinked slowly. "Kevin," a spooky robotic voice whispered from the lunchbox. "The sandwiches know your secrets, Kevin. The juice box is plotting against you." Kevin just wanted to eat his ham and cheese. Now he wasn't so sure. He eyed his sandwich with deep suspicion. Was it really just a sandwich, or was it a spy? Suddenly, the classroom lights flickered. On the ceiling, neon lights buzzed to life. The Pope appeared on the teacher's desk, but he wasn't wearing his usual robes. He was wearing giant headphones and sunglasses. He was DJ Pope. He slammed a button on his turntables. "Let's get this party started," he yelled. A booming dance beat filled the room. The kids looked at each other, then at the Dorito teacher, then back at DJ Pope. They decided this was better than long division. And then, things got even crazier. A figure descended from a beam of light in the middle of the room. It was Jesus. He was wearing glowing trainers and a tracksuit. He didn't say a word. He just started breakdancing. He did a headspin on the floor, he did the worm, he did a move that looked like he was walking on water, but upside down. The kids cheered. The Dorito teacher wiggled slightly. The AI lunchbox eye just stared, whispering, "This is not statistically probable, Glee." The weirdness wasn't just on Earth, it had spread to space. The entire planet Earth started spinning faster and faster. It wobbled like a Beyblade that had been launched by a hyperactive giant. "Let it rip!" yelled a voice from nowhere. Up in a sleek silver spaceship, two aliens looked down. They had big heads and looked very bored. "Ugh, look at them," one alien said to the other, filing its tentacles. "Their whole planet is just a giant meme. It's too cringe. Let's go watch a black hole instead." Back on Earth, the chaos continued. Andrew Tate, wearing a shiny suit, was skydiving without a parachute. He was fueled by pure confidence and a can of G Fuel. He was having a meme battle with a granny. This wasn't any granny. She was wearing a Supreme hoodie and Yeezy trainers. They shouted memes at each other as they fell. "What color is your Bugatti?" Andrew yelled. "Okay, boomer," the granny yelled back, opening a portal with a strange-looking remote control and disappearing. God was not happy. He sat on his golden throne, scrolling through the internet on a holy tablet. "Too many memes," he boomed. His voice echoed across the heavens. "First the cat videos, I let that slide. But now this? A breakdancing Jesus? A Dorito teacher? This was not in the plan." He sighed and rubbed his temples. He considered pressing the reset button on the universe, but he couldn't find where he'd left it. It was probably under a pile of prayers he hadn't read yet. And now, here you are. You've been reading this whole story. You thought you were just a reader, didn't you? Wrong. Look down at your hands. They're starting to look a bit pixelated. You look around. The world is cracking. It looks like a phone screen that's been dropped one too many times. The ancient meme prophecy foretold this. It said a reader would reach the end, and in doing so, they would become the final meme. Congratulations. You're part of the chaos now. Good luck.